Okay, good morning. Today I have a 2002 model year Mercedes W203. That's a C class. It's a C180. The major complaint is it has multiple faults, as you can see from the instrument cluster. ABS light is on, check engine light is on, and finally the SRS lamp is on as well. Engine runs well. It doesn't have any issues with the transmission. The main complaint, the reason why it really came in today, is because the owner complained that she had an incident when she tried to brake and the vehicle wouldn't brake as quickly as she thought it should, and also at the same time when she braked, the RPM, the engine RPM was kind of going up, and so we came to the conclusion for that is very quickly we discovered, I don't know if you can see under here, do you see all this mess, all this stuff? There is a lot of cables hanging around the brake pedal. That is the accelerator. That is the gas pedal. But Sam insists this panel up here was kind of hanging when he picked the vehicle up. So for now, we are reckoning something interfered with all this stuff interfered with her operation of the brakes, and she ended up operating the accelerator as well, especially because this mat is behind there, but we removed it when we found it lying over the brake pedal, but it was under the brake pedal but over the gas pedal. So for now we don't want to go crazy with this. We are just going to put stuff back up there. Sam, when he went to pick this vehicle from by the roadside, it was about 80 kilometers away from the garage, and he drove it the entire 80 kilometers on side roads, highway, and he never had an issue with the operation of the gas and brake pedals. So we are thinking this could have been, whatever happened to the vehicle when the owner drove it could have been due to so many, all that stuff hanging behind the brake pedal and interfering with the operation of the brake pedal and also activating the gas pedal unintentionally. For now, that's what we are taking it as, although I have some further checks to do with the accelerator pedal position sensor. I hope I will show that to you later when we take it out, and also the TPS. But before that, I think I can try to get a look at the accelerator pedal position signals. First of all, let me turn the engine off, because to achieve what I want to do, I have to depress the gas pedal all the way, and I don't want the engine to go crazy. So I'm going to get into the engine control module. There are faults. I hope I can show them to you. There are about 4 or 5 faults related to the supercharging system, which I don't believe this vehicle has, because all those faults here, even this one, the one for the map sensor, I believe are related to vehicles with a supercharging system called the Kompressor on Mercedes, and this vehicle doesn't have that type of engine, doesn't have the compressor type of engine. So our belief is that the engine control module had issues in the past, and what they decided to do, whatever garage she took it to, they found a replacement engine control module, which seemed to work, but we suspect the engine control module in the vehicle now was meant for a vehicle with a supercharging system, with a compressor system. So that's why the ECM is complaining about all those components missing. So we shall not dwell on that too much. However, I'm going to have a look at what this pedal is doing. I want to see actual values, test values at idle speed. I'm not going to run the engine yet, but I want to see I think I have to use another set of values. This okay, this one I think. I want to select all for now. Actually, there are some things I don't need. I'll need only this one, this one, this one, this one. I don't need these. These seems to be for the supercharger, so I'll ignore those. I'll concentrate on these three for now, because they are the ones that have the closest relation to the complaint that the customer made. That is, if what we are thinking about interference behind the brake pedal is wrong, then the next suspect would be the pedal position sensor values and the throttle actuation. So now I'm going to graph the values, the voltage values being emitted by the two APPS values and the throttle. My foot is now going on the accelerator pedal, and I'm pushing it down, pushing it down. I want to see something smooth. I don't know. It's the graphing seems to be a bit. It's not as smooth as I wanted, but that could be due to the scan tool. To the nature of the scan tool data updates, or the speed of data update. I'm now taking the foot off slowly. At least I don't see any dropouts. I'm going to do this again. I don't see any activity on the throttle, on the TPS, on the throttle position sensor. I guess it doesn't operate it when the engine is not running, so I'm going to have to run the engine to check it out too. But at least this is good. Checking out the that the accelerator pedal position sensor doesn't have any dropouts. To be 100% sure that the APPS doesn't have issues on both channels, I'm going to, if I have time, I may show it to you. I'm going to test those two channels using the DSO, digital storage oscilloscope, as well. Sometimes it's not very good to rely on scan tool data. Anyway, that looks all good. Foot off the gas pedal all the way now. I'm going to run the engine. Engine is running now. I should begin seeing activity on the TPS, and indeed there is. And I'm going to rev it up a bit now. Well, that looks good to me. The TPS. Actually, I'm going to power brake it and check that the TPS goes all the way. That's D position, the gear. I'm going to power brake it now. Yep, that looks good. That looks good to me. I don't see any dropouts. So if I check this out with the DSO and it's fine, I think I'll stop the investigation of the spurious failure to brake and funny, may not be very funny, engine RPM increases. I'll stop the investigation there after using the DSO. But I noticed something else which I want to show you here for the oxygen. I think it was dual oxygen sensors. I'll take this one, and this one. So it is showing that lambda control is on, meaning it is in closed loop, and I'm seeing the oxygen sensor upstream of the catalytic converter is cycling like it should here. You see that? That is the one upstream. Now I want to show you the one for downstream, the one after the catalytic converter. This one shows normal operation. That is how it should be behaving. Upstream. Where is the one for downstream? Okay, this is the one for downstream. Of the catalytic converter. And now check this out. Now, first of all, this should be somewhere above, like if the catalytic converter is functioning properly like it should, and the ECM is controlling, is in closed loop, I expect this to be above, say, 0.5 volts. Instead I'm seeing 0.4, so I think I'm having issues there. And when I try to power brake it to simulate a rich condition. I want to graph this so that you see it. I'm going to attempt to power brake it, and I expect it to go really rich. I expect the voltage to go as high as maybe 800 millivolts. So there we go. I'll power brake it. I'll do that again. That is simulating rich condition, and I'm sure, I wish I could show this to you at the same time as the upstream oxygen sensor. You would see that the engine is actually running rich. I'm going to do it again. This shows that the engine, rather that the oxygen sensor is not responding to rich conditions. So at this point I'm thinking it's either a faulty oxygen sensor after the catalytic converter or the wiring to it, and I'm going to verify that. After showing you, I've just thought of something else. I think I can see both sensors at the same time when I use OBD2 software. So I'm launching the OBD2 software. Okay, Mercedes. I'm not even going to bother reading the codes. I know what I'll find. So I just go to current data. I need, okay, I think I'll need that. I need to verify it is in closed loop before I read into the oxygen sensor voltage. This one and this one. Okay, now I can see both. First of all, we seem to have a lean condition. You see that? That's lean, and also it says already, I think this ECM already knows about the faulty oxygen sensor, but it still puts it in closed loop, which confirms my suspicion about this sensor. The ECM already knows about it. Anyway, I'll just graph this to show you. Graph that and that one. Now, when the system is rich, the voltages on both these channels will stay high. So far what I'm seeing, this one is cycling properly. This one, don't look at the graph so much yet, but look at the figures here. The range in which the graph is playing is very, very narrow, so it's as if in reality it is not really switching much. But this one is clearly switching because the range is much wider. You can see the front oxygen sensor is switching properly. This one is hanging a bit low. In fact, I believe that is the bias voltage that we are seeing on this channel. So I'm going to rev it up, actually power brake it, and you see this one hang rich. This is what I meant, hanging reach. I expected this one to respond as well, but it didn't. If you look at the range of the voltages here, 440 to 425 millivolts, that is almost no change. So I think we have an issue with the rear, the downstream oxygen sensor circuit. Also, note that the fuel trim, the long-term fuel trim here, is not changing even with RPM. I'm going to rev it up. That's about 2000 RPM. You can see it's not changing. The short term is changing though. Correcting. Let me push it to 3000. So basically we have total fuel trims of about 17% at idle, and it goes up to about 10%. That is 17 or 18, because this is almost 18, minus what you see at the top, which is about 10. That puts it in plus 10. So it improves with RPM. That would indicate a vacuum leak on the manifold. So we are going to look for a vacuum leak as well, just from the by looking at the fuel trim numbers. See, it's like a total of about 18% positive at idle. I push the RPM to 2000. And the short term corrects to about minus 10, and the long term doesn't correct. That shows me a total of about positive 10. So that sounds like, or looks like, a vacuum leak on the intake manifold. So we are looking for two issues right now. We can't, the real reason why this vehicle was brought here, it was to deal with the spurious engine RPM, high engine RPM and poor braking, which we have failed to duplicate, especially since we removed the obstacle behind the accelerator pedal, all that stuff. There was more stuff actually hanging from the top. There was more stuff hanging there. From what I can see from the ECM data, there we don't seem to have an issue with the TPS or APPS, but I have spotted an issue with the oxygen sensor, and also potentially a vacuum leak on the engine. Okay, so now I have brought the multimeter out, and the DSO will be following soon, but I needed to establish, I unplugged the APPS, which is actually this unit here, but this is the entire housing for it. The actual sensor is in here, and these are, you can see it spins, and there is a socket here for it. I don't know if you can see it, but I've already plugged into the ground, and I don't like the value on that ground wire. Seeing 39 ohms, don't like that value. Ground of almost 40 ohms. I guess it can work, and it does work, but it's higher than I like. And I'm going to go look for 5 volts on that wire. The connector has 5. I've seen 5 wires on it, so one must be the ground, which I've already proved and I don't like, and then the other must be the 5 volts reference, and then the other two should be, let me see, I've got 5 wires. 5 wires means one is a ground, one is 5 volts reference, the two are going to be the actual APPS varying signal wires, and then the last one should be the idle confirmation switch. So I'm going to first check that I have 5 volts reference now. Key in on position, don't see anything. Okay, I think you can see that we have 5 volt reference. My connection is not good, it keeps dropping out. Yeah, but I think you can see it right there, 5 volt reference. Now I have to plug the APPS back in. I have some voltage on there. No? Yeah, you can see I have some kind of signal. Have a look at that. I'm depressing the APPS now, and you can see the voltages are rising. So that must be one channel of the APPS. And this must be the other channel. Have a look at that. Changing voltage when I actuate the APPS. So I'm now going to the last wire, which I think should be the idle confirmation switch, and I don't seem to find any activity on it. No, it looks like a ground. This other wire is a ground, but it's also reading quite high. So this APPS sensor has two grounds. Seems the sensor has two grounds. So I'm now going to bring the oscilloscope and put it on the two signal wires that I've checked out. Okay, the oscilloscope has now come out to play. Yeah, I can already see some kind of signal. I want a longer time base. I think that will do. And I want to use more of the screen, so I'll move the Y position lower and the trigger level higher. Right, so I'll now actuate the APPS slowly, like so. Hope you can see that. I don't have any dropouts, but I have to change the voltage scale. One volt, so you can see it max out. Press it in slowly, still climbing. It has maxed out now. Then I bring it down slowly. I don't see any dropouts on that channel. I'm going to do it once again before I move to the other channel. A little bit faster this time. Maxed out, then bring it out. Right, I'm moving to the other channel now. That's the second APPS channel. I hope I've made connection. Yeah, it looks like I have. So I'm going to press it in slowly. Press it in all the way. Then press it out. And I've now released it out fully. I'm going to change the voltage setting to the lower one now, so the waveform is amplified. Up again, maxed out, out again, released all the way. There was a glitch there, but that was me releasing it a bit too suddenly. Maxed out, down all the way, and then releasing it down all the way. I can't find a problem with this APPS, so that tells me the issue with this vehicle, at least the complaint that brought it in, was because of the obstacles behind the pedals, which is a bit dangerous. I think we need to it's rather fortunate that she didn't have the customer didn't have a bigger incident than just failure to brake as suddenly as she wanted. We're just going to remove whatever accessories, aftermarket stuff was lying behind the pedals, and send this vehicle on the way. The other issues I saw are the vacuum leak, some symptoms of mild vacuum leak, and also a bad downstream oxygen sensor. We are going to ask the customer if she wants us to fix those as well, because those are issues I've spotted. And it has other issues in the airbag, SRS system, and the ABS system. Like you saw before, the lights were showing, but for this video I'm not going to troubleshoot those.